two roots and one point through which the parabola goes. All right, so I actually like to map out the parabola to get a sense. Now, square root of 7, I don't know, but I know that square root of 9 is 3. So that means this will be less than 3. So let's put a 3, positive 3 here, negative 3. Now, I also know that the parabola goes through the point 4, comma 9. So 4, 9 is going to be here. And so those 3 hints tell me that the a value will be positive, right? And the parabola will open something like that. Because the roots are opposites, this also tells me that the parabola is symmetrical and that the vertex will be on the y-axis. Okay, so I like to visualize what type of quadratic function I'm working with. That way, when I get an a value, I can look at it critically. And if I get an a of negative something, I can say, whoa, I made a mistake because I'm pretty sure this parabola opens up. All right, so we start off, we're using the equation, the factored form equation, where R1 and R2 are the two roots. So the first thing we'll do is we'll substitute in the two roots. Okay, and I know some of you will want to substitute everything in at once. That's fine, but I want to show you. Now notice that part of the form, those minuses are part of the formula. So if my roots are positive, or I'll just write root 7 and negative root 7, I can further simplify to y equals ax minus root 7. X minus is plus root 7. Okay, next I will sub in the point. Sub in 4, comma 9. So 9 is a y value and 4 is an x value. So if the y is a 9, the x is a 4, I just want to show you in color with the orange color what I've changed. Okay, so now if we look at this equation, we see that the only unknown is the a. This is good. Okay, I do see some radicals, not quite happy about that, but I also notice that this binomial and this binomial is a conjugate binomial, right? Ooh, that's right, Miss Sly. Conjugate binomials. Ooh, that's a good thing because then I can use the flow rule. Okay, so let's simplify. I have a 9. I leave the a, right? Let me first figure out what I get with the flow rule. So first times first, 4 times 4 is 16. Minus times plus is minus. Root 7 times root 7 is 7. Right? If you need a review of that, you go back to the last unit, come in and ask me. 9 equals a. 16 minus 7 is 9. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9. These two 9s cancel out. So I get that a equals positive 1. Right? 9 over 9 just simplifies to 1. Excellent. Good. So now I can write my equation in factored form. And on an evaluation, you need to know which one is the factored form and which one is standard. So the factored form will look like this. Okay, I'll write the a, although I really don't need to. And then minus root 7 plus root 7. So in the factored form, we're able to find the two zeros. Okay. Now, in order to get to the standard form, we expand, i.e. FOIL, to get standard form. Now, before we go on, let's pause and ask ourselves, is the A value of 1, does that make sense? And it does. And who can tell me why? Okay, A is positive 1. And I was guessing or expecting that the A value would be positive so that the parabola could open upward. And that is in fact true. Right? So this is what I call critical thinking. When you really think about your answer, does it make sense? Also, when you predict an answer, that is also excellent critical thinking. Okay. Now notice we have 2 conjugate binomials. Okay. What will that do to our standard form? Right? So if we have 2 conjugate binomials, it means that we just need to use the flow rule. Multiply first and first, x times x is x squared. Multiply last and last will be minus 7. So yes, this is standard form. This is also another form. Which one will it be? This is standard. Yeah, I heard someone say it. It's also vertex form. And that is because there is no h value, right? H equals 0. And if h equals 0, that means the parabola has not shifted horizontally. And that also supports my prediction of the fact that the parabola is symmetrical about the y-axis and that the vertex will be on the y-axis, right? So again, I'm doing more work than necessary, but this is the type of work you want to do to fully understand. You want to predict your answer before you even start the question. That is how we approach this math. All right. And so here I would label that this is standard form. All right, there you go. That is a homework question for you.